Welcome to the 7th edition of QuayCast. News, discussions and insights from Quay Pharmaceuticals, one of the fastest growing CDMOs in the world today. In this episode, Michael Kruidenier chats with Michael Kruidenier, the head of site in New Hampshire, US, where Quay's latest 55,000 square foot facility is preparing for pharmaceutical development and clinical manufacturing.
My name is Michael Kruidenier. I'm head of business development at Quay Pharmaceuticals. I've been at Quay for 8 years. I'm responsible for the live biotherapeutic programs globally. I'm also responsible for outside Europe. I'm here today to speak to my new colleague, Michael Kruidenier, and find out a little bit more of his roles, responsibilities, and joining Quay Pharma. A very good morning for you, a very good afternoon from me. Can you tell me a little bit about Michael Kruidenier, what you did in prior joining to Quay?
Sure. So just prior to joining Quay, I was working for a Japanese CRO called CIMIC, based out of Tokyo, which is, they were the second largest CRO probably in Asia, and ran their operations for their U.S. business located in New Jersey, where we did later phase research and clinical supplies, research development for INDs, NDAs, ANDAs, and then commercial manufacturing for various customers, ranging from medical devices, NDAs, and ANDAs. By training, biochemist, by education, I've worked as a toxicologist very early in my career, actually forensic toxicology, and then later on did bioanalytical research and development for a number of pharmaceutical companies for some of the early phase in animal studies and first in humans. And then later in my career, got into formulations and processing. And then from there into operations. So my experience covers a wide range of the pharmaceutical industry, and probably even more recently got involved with a lot of the engineering with facilities and air handling and filtration and water systems. And I joined Quay in August 1st was actually my first date, and picked up my family, moved from New Jersey to New Hampshire. We're into a new house. My daughter's in a new school. My wife was able to transfer her job, so we're all getting settled in. Still some boxes to unpack, you know how it goes. But the biggest and most exciting thing right now is getting our new 55,000 square foot facility that's located in Hudson, New Hampshire, up and running.
What are the facilities like? What is the building like?
Yeah, so the infrastructure is good. It's a pretty well open building right now, which we're building into. Before I started, the team in the UK had done a lot of work remotely, and I'll tell you what, that was I'm sure was a scary challenge for them, and they did very well. They have a laboratory which includes the analytical space, sample preparation, and then even some development space for liquid solids and coating capabilities built out. And right now, the team here in the US is working on getting the finishing touches on that space, and then also performing a gap analysis of what else we will need to make it operational. The plan is to get the analytical and the development space up and running in at least R&D type work by the beginning of next year, the end of this year. Mm-hmm. And then hopefully then be able to quickly complete qualification of equipment on the analytical end to be able to provide some GMP testing.
We've spoken over the last couple of weeks, Ryan Wilson and I, to various companies in Boston and in Cambridge, Massachusetts, who are pretty keen to come and see the facilities. We've pushed them a little bit back to really show them something significant and really make an impression.
When do you think we're open to maybe show clients around and selling the dream?
I think it will probably still be towards the end of the year.
Okay.
The laboratories and R&D will probably be done, will probably up and done earlier. And it may be a good, exciting time because they can see our GMP facilities probably in the process of being built and installed. We are working with a company and we're doing the modular design, which is actually something new on build out for me, but also it's very exciting because these modular designs give a lot of flexibility for future, because you could actually pick these modular designs up, take them apart and move them or reconfigure them. So I think it was a very smart move. It's being built as a building inside a building. In this case, it's not a lot of these get built right into warehouses. This is not going to be necessarily into a warehouse. It actually was a electronics manufacturing space. But we are I think once the analytical development labs are in good shape to start showing, have equipment in them, lights blinking, maybe some chemicals on the bench, it would be a good time to bring people in later in the year, I hope.
Okay.
But what do you think the benefits are for clients in the US for having a facility in Hudson?
One of the largest benefits, the biggest benefits for a client is we have a large, we have an existing clientele in that Boston biotech area, and we are very close. We are virtually right over the border. So Massachusetts border is about 5 miles south of us. So for that biotech corridor and the companies in that Boston area and in that corridor, we are close enough for them to come visit. It's just a same day trip. They can come up for the day, watch some operations, watch some of their GMP materials being manufactured, even consult with some research and development, and then go home the same day.
Okay. So who are your colleagues who joined, and what are their roles?
So I have Zachary Wilson who has joined, and he's our lab manager. So he'll be getting the lab up and running, and then operating the lab. And Zach has a lot of experience in the analytical arena. He's a chemical engineer by education, which gives him a strong logical background in working out problems. And then Alicia, our project manager, so she's here to keep not only our suppliers and vendors who are doing construction right now in line. Later on, she'll be handling customer projects, and then she's also here to keep Zach and myself on track in getting things done.
That's good to hear. Are you aware of any other positions Quay starts to fill, or are people being interviewed for other roles within the facility?
Yes, we're actively now still searching for a site quality head for the facility to help us with our regulatory aspects of for the site, and then looking for analytical chemists and development formulation scientists to join also. So there's a high level quality position we're looking for. With the new team members, they have some contacts. We're hoping to be able to use some of their contacts and maybe find somebody that they have worked with in the past. And then also the same with our analytical chemist and formulation scientist.
There's a trip to the UK coming up, Michael. What are your expectations? What do you want to see or get out of the trip to Quay in the UK?
Yeah, so myself and the team will be coming in early October. We should be on site the first day, October 4th. I think it's a Monday. Really, what we want to see is first of all, to meet all the people, talk to everybody in person. So that will help further communications later on. To see the operations to see the laboratory, the equipment, the whole setup. We are really trying. We're not trying to reinvent anything here in the U.S. We're trying to duplicate everything that's been done in the UK. It's been a successful recipe for the UK, and we feel it would be that same recipe would be successful here in the US. I want to hear everybody's story at Quay. I want to get a personal story, sort of from Mike Rubenstein, from David Patterson, and the founders. I really would love to hear the story of the early days when they're starting off. But then also with Mairead and Mike and Ryan and the rest of the team of their experiences, joining the company when it was small and building it. Yes, but also to learn from roadblocks, pitfalls that could go along, growing pains, what can be avoided, lessons learned, let's say.
I know that both owners, Mike Rubenstein and David Patterson, are pretty keen to welcome you and see you in the UK. They probably want to show the other facilities or the other companies the Patterson family, for instance, is involved with. There's a cart and design business, which is only 100 yards around the corner. Our second facility in Newtek Square. Then Dave Patterson and Quay still have facilities in a third area, which is about 20 minutes drive away from the other. We have a 3D printing business as well. But I'm very pleased to say that you're interested in learning and speaking to the people, because Quay is all about the people and the science and the know-how, and replicating that into the US, similar mentality. The reason why I joined this organization, it was owned by two families rather than a big corporate organization. So the interest is in people, the interest is in the future, and I hope you will feel that experience and get that message when you're out there. The other thing as well is it's great to have some Americans on board, because the company consists of people from all around the world, but except for one guy, and I think he's in the warehouse, but I think he's Canadian, not even American. We had nobody from the North American continent. So, yes, I want to welcome you on board with Quay, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in Chester on this side, and let's see what the future brings. What do you think the future will bring?
So I think the future is going to bring us a more global reach. I mean, that's what this whole now move over to North America is. But I think I really, when I looked at the opportunity and I looked at the company, what they were doing, what excited me was, well, number one, I didn't have to build it from the ground up, but not that I wouldn't have taken on that opportunity, but and that the Quay already had a relationship in North America. They do a lot of business here. Just the location alone was actually a wise decision. The Boston Biotech Corridor runs just about 20 miles south of us, and so it's very close. Boston is 45, 50 miles. Maybe even a little closer, probably about an hour's drive away. But all that biotech industry, all the companies that need the services that Quay perform are right there. So, we're looking forward to working with our current U.S. clients, but also reaching out to more of this small biotech companies, the 2 men in a molecule on up to even some of the larger players. I think we would be able to provide good services and development and research for all the industry.
Thank you very much for your time.
Again, Michael, thank you.
Thank you for listening to QuayCast. Please share and follow for future episodes.